Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
Since you're new to H&R Block, we'll look at your returns from the last 3 years for any money your last guy might have missed, for free.
I could get money back from last year?
You could. We'll find any mistakes.
Could have really used that 2 years ago when I dated that mistake for 5 months.
Don't leave money on the table. Switch to H&R Block and get a free second look review. Second look is included at no additional cost with the purchase of tax preparation. Results vary. All tax situations are different. Fees apply if you have us file an amended return.
Hey everybody, it's Josh and Ryan. Don't hit that skip button. We have a huge announcement for you. As many of you know, our good friend Paul and former host of the show runs an amazing charity to help foster families and foster children. And we are announcing our very first charity event ever, and we've made it very easy for you to help. Ryan, tell them what they need to do.
All they have to do is head on over to our Discord server. The link is in the episode description, and share a screenshot showing that you follow the podcast and have given it 5 stars. If you have Apple and Spotify, double dipping is highly encouraged. And for every person that does that, Josh, what's going to happen?
For every person that shares a screenshot, we are going to donate $10 to the charity to help these families and these children. No gamer left behind, no kids left behind. Now enjoy this episode. Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. On this episode of This Week in Gaming, we're breaking down the Xbox Developer Direct and talking about a slew of awesome games. South of Midnight? Check. Ninja Gaiden 4? Check. Claire Obscura Expedition 33? Check, check. And Doom the Dark Ages? Check, 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 check. As well as some new gameplay from Split Fiction, the co-op successor to It Takes Two. Before we get into the fun, though, some introductions are in order. I am your host, Josh, and joining me, if I'm the fast, light fighter jet, he's the slow, chunky tank. A clunky tank who's ready to stand and fight. It's Ryan.
You know, that is quite poignant, obviously, because just today in our Discord, and I don't know if this is what clued you in on that, I talked about how I made a batch of chili, and I ate 4 chili dogs for lunch after my workout today. So I'm bulking.
Are you going to make it through this episode?
I'm bulking, bro. Perma-bulk.
I'm worried for your gastrointestinal comfort, man. 4 chili dogs.
Dude, I'm hungry again, actually.
Oh my goodness. I'm not a fan of chili dogs, believe it or not. I love me a hot dog. I just don't want chili on it. Like, I want, give me a Chicago dog, like standard just mustard ketchup relish dog, something like that. But it's like the chili just gets wasted, or I don't know, man. I know that's a weird take because a lot of people love chili dogs.
That is a weird take.
I'm not a fan of chili dogs.
You're boo this man.
Yeah. All right, welcome to a hot dog podcast, everybody.
Yeah. I was going to say, get to the games.
Yeah. Oh, and do we have some amazing games to talk about? Man, it's rare that we get, any kind of game showcase where it's like everything that they talk about. I'm like, ooh, that looks good. Like, okay, this game looks interesting. But usually I'm just like, skip. Okay, this one looks awesome. Let's talk about that. But yeah man, we got some good stuff to talk about, and we're going to get right into that. But first, Ryan, we got somebody to thank, buddy. We had a new epic supporter sign up to support the podcast. A fine fellow by the name of Patrick O'Brien. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. Everybody that's listening right now is cheering in their heads because you helped make this podcast possible.
Oh, Patty O'Brien, thank you for your support.
I knew, Ryan, I knew you were going to.
I immediately regret it. Patrick. I immediately regret it. I was debating as you were saying it. I'm like, don't do it. And then my brain just says, do it. and
yeah,
that was not a good choice.
You know what? Patrick signed up to support the show. He knows we're stupid.
Not
man.
for long. He's going to be like, well.
Oh, man. Well, thank you, Patrick, for supporting the show. Thank you, everybody else that is out there that is supporting the show. If you are listening to the show, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you're going to have a good time. We're going to tell you about these games, give you our opinions, a little bit of hype because that's what we do. But thanks for joining us on this. Ryan?
Yes.
Let's just get into it, buddy. I am so excited to talk about some of these, man. And we're just going to start at the top, man, for me at least. I don't know for you, so I am actually curious because you haven't talked about this game a whole lot.
I have not.
I am very curious to kind of hear your thoughts on this, but we got an extended gameplay trailer with some kind of developer commentary. We got a much deeper look at Doom: The Dark Ages. Dude, oh my goodness, man. Now, I've not hidden the fact that I absolutely love Doom Eternal. I think Doom Eternal is one of the best first-person shooters that exists.
Yeah.
For what that game tries to do, it does it perfectly, dude. Optimized graphics, soundtrack, gameplay. It is just absolute perfection when it comes to a single-player first-person kind of shooter campaign. Did you ever play Doom Eternal?
I did not. Not that I recall, man. I was thinking about this today. I'm like, I don't even know when the last Doom game I played was. When I think Doom, I just think of original Doom.
You think the old school pixel.
Doom, yeah, old school pixelated Doom. And so I know obviously there's been a lot of advancements and they have some amazing games as you described, but I don't know why those ones just haven't been on my radar as far as gameplay.
I get it. It's weird, man. I see a lot of people picking up Doom Eternal and not having played it. And then it's fun because I see it and they're posting and they're like, oh my goodness, man, the gameplay in this game is peak.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, dude, it really is. So I am a huge fan of the Doom series. I won't claim that I've played all of them, but Doom Eternal, like I said, is one of my favorite first-person shooters. If you have not played that game, it is incredible. And I highly recommend that you pick it up because it is going to feed your hype level for Doom: The Dark Ages. It is feeding mine. So it's one of those things where it's like, how do you follow up a game that did what it was trying to do so perfectly, right? This is the danger of a sequel, right? It's like, hey, we made Doom Eternal. That game was awesome. What do we do next? And I don't think anybody really knew. The short preview that we got showed him holding a shield that had a saw teeth around it. And I was like, well, this is interesting looking. But the developers came out and they basically said, look, we have to stay true to the game. We have to kind of stay true to the formula, but we do need to mix it up some. So what we did is, if you are familiar with Doom Eternal, it is very movement based. There's a lot of grappling hooks. There's a lot of double jumping. I mean, it really is the kind of, if you kind of learn to fly in Doom Eternal and stay mobile because you'd get wrecked otherwise.
Yeah.
And they even said in Doom: The Dark Ages, the theme is stand and fight,
which was awesome. For us chunkies, us chunkies, apparently, we got to, it's not like we're moving.
Well, you got to be the meat shield, Ryan. But I love this aspect that they took with this. And I literally got chill bumps. When he said the goal is stand and fight in this one, I just kind of went like, ooh. And they show you as this big clunky dude with your shield in hand and you are just blocking stuff, your shield charging. They showed a mechanic where you can parry and deflect attacks. So monsters will shoot out multiple projectiles and one of them will be kind of glowing green. And that's your kind of signal to say, hey, you can deflect this back at them. What was your takeaway on this? I mean, I like I said, we've not talked about this me and you. So are you hyped for this? What are your thoughts on this, man?
Well, my first kind of thought was, as I watched the whole thing, I was just envisioning you watching it, giggling like a little girl.
That's 100% accurate.
Yeah. That's exactly the first thing I thought of. But the second was, this looks pretty sweet, man. I'm not going to lie. From someone who hasn't played, I'm craving just, an aggressive, angry, if you will, just dark, violent game, and this seems like, this is the one. And there still is there still is movement. I know you talked about like the old, with Eternal, like the grappling hook and other things. In this, I saw him, he jumped over a broken bridge. He throws his shield, and you kind of, when you call back your shield, it does a little pull to you. He used that as a mechanic to get over that gap. He like threw it up above and then pulled himself forward. So there still is mobility, which is nice because I hate being slow in games.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
And slow. So yeah, the gameplay, the graphics, the fighting, everything about it looked clean and crisp and just ready to destroy. Like I was amped up and ready to just kill things, after I watched this.
It gets you there, right?
Yeah, I was
I'm
like,
hyped
okay.
right now, man. I feel like I want to just like shield bash something.
Boom.
I mean, I cannot see a world where this game does not live up to the expectation, to be honest with you. The only thing I can think of is like, if you don't like the kind of shift in the gameplay mentality where, hey, you are this tank, you are strong, you are going to stand in front of these fantastic demons and you are going to face tank them. I could get that maybe some people are like, man, I really liked the movement in this kind of ballet of destruction from Doom Eternal. This game feels a little bit different than that, and so I'm not a huge fan. But otherwise, these guys know what they're doing. What we have seen already is enough to tell me that this is absolutely going to be a banger of a game, man. This is at the top of my hype meter, and we're going to talk about another game that I am very excited about next. But like Doom, the Dark Ages for me is just my kind of game. It's like you said, if you're in the mood for that gritty, dark, like I want to just face like the hordes of hell, as Doom guy and just rip and tear until it is done.
Yeah.
Like this game looks like it's just going to give that to you in spades. And not only that, but we got a release date, Ryan, which I love. It is May 15th. So that is not that far away. We're not talking about end of year 2025 where we have to freaking wait a whole year for this game to come out.
Yeah, I'll hold my breath. I'll hold my breath for that.
Didn't you steal this game for me in our Game of the Year draft?
I might.
Isn't this the one that you stole from me that I was like, Ryan, I really wanted to leave with that one?
I think you're right.
I don't have it in front of me, but I'm almost positive that's it, and I'm really not happy about that.
And it was probably 99% just to steal it from you.
It was absolutely. You even I'm almost positive you were like, I can't let you have all the games you want.
Yeah.
And then you just stole it from me. So
this is the way.
Now I'm stuck in the like, I don't want you to win, but I also want this game to be great.
That was my plan the whole time.
Oh, man. All right. Well, yeah. So Doom, the Dark Ages. Ryan, we got to get you into Doom Eternal. If nothing else, play it for 2 or 3 hours to just get a taste of it because it is just, it's amazing.
I'll have to check it out.
All right. So this next one, this is where you and I are going to differ.
What?
I could see Ryan's face already, man. So I have been very excited ever since we saw the very first trailer for this game called Clair Obscura Expedition 33. To me, this game looked like it was the next gen Final Fantasy, over the top, turn-based combat, fantastical world, brand new IP, new scenery, new characters, like all this stuff. And everything I have seen about this game has gotten me more and more hyped for it. I remember when we first talked about this game, you went, turn-based combat, not for me.
Yep. And things have not changed.
Well, they're changing, buddy, because you don't have a choice.
Yeah, I may not have a choice. Yeah.
I don't know if we've officially announced this yet, but you have been picked and forced by a legendary supporter to play this game. And I'll tell you what, when they picked you to play this, I lost my mind. We virtually high-fived. I went, dude, you have no idea how happy this makes me that Ryan has to play this game because I am so hyped for it. And you are not, and it's like, can this change your mind?
It's fine. It's fine. This is
so
fine.
You got a little bit of. I want you to kind of take this one, Ryan, because we got an even further look at this game as far as some of the characters, some of the combat. They showcased a lot more of the very cinematic combat with like quick time events to kind of get those perfect hits and blocks and things like that. What do you think, Ryan?
Well, I'm used to being forced to play games, apparently, since this will be my 4th time in a row getting picked. So I don't know what I did to hurt. I don't know who I hurt, but apparently it was a lot of people. But this game it actually looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Now, having said that, I said it looks cool.
All right.
I said it looks cool. It looks beautiful. The fight sequences look amazing. My biggest thing, and you said it, and everybody knows it, is I just am not a fan of turn-based combat. I hate my characters just standing there, like, kind of waving back and forth, waiting for their turn, like, oh yeah, because this is how a real battle would work, and we'd all just sit and wait. And Ryan, the strategy, you get to, it's so much more strategic, and you get to set everything up, and you get to do your defenses.
Which is true.
All true. I'm not denying that. But it doesn't mean that I cannot, I can't not like that. I want to just go in and, like we talked about with Doom, I want to bash faces, so I get it. And I can appreciate that level. So it's not to say I'll dislike the game. It's not to say that, I mean, dude, I haven't played a turn-based combat game in a very long time for good reason, in my opinion. Maybe this one turns me around. Who knows? Who knows?
That's my hope, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And I know it was Fitner John, aka John Tastico now that picked this game. People are going to be hearing that name a lot more here in this next episode. So stay tuned for that little teaser there as well. But John picked this game for you to play. And my instant hope was, if there is a game that could change your mind on this one, then I'm really hoping that this is it, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird to me because I love turn-based combat, and it's funny because somebody in our community was like, "Hey, this kind of reminds me of like Persona 5 Royale's combat," and then I kind of went like, "Ew, don't say that," because I didn't love that combat so much.
Yeah.
But I historically do love the tactical nature of turn-based combat. I like that this character's near death, but the creature's almost dead. Do you go for the big hit and hope that you win the fight? Do you heal the character, but then now the boss gets an attack? That kind of thing. I like that just kind of thinking about how you're going to approach this. As much as I pick on you, I understand your point of view. Like, this is slow. It's too methodical. Let me get back to the game itself. But I grew up on these kind of games. Final Fantasy, that kind of stuff.
Dude, Pokemon. That was like my first like turn-based.
But you love Pokemon, right?
I love Pokemon, but I always remember, even as a kid, I'm like, dude, why am I just sitting here waiting? Oh, whatever put me to sleep. Okay, now I have to wait 2 turns or whatever. And I'm like, this is so boring. And I love, like, turn-based things. Like, I love chess. I understand it's strategic and you take your turns and you make your moves and attacks and you got to plan ahead. I love chess, but I play it for that reason, because I want it in that moment. Games, I typically like other types of things. So not to take it away, but I will, like I said, I will go into this with an open mind for sure.
The other thing, combat aside, I think the combat looks fantastic, and I actually really do like that they incorporated QuickTime events into the combat, because I think that helps somebody like you that maybe thinks, hey, this is too slow. If you actually have to pay attention to, a perfect hit timer or parry timer or something like that, hopefully that gives that little bit of engagement that like you would be craving in combat. I think the combat looks fantastic, man. The creatures they showed, the camera angles, the huge hits, like, this is so cinematic, it's ridiculous. Apart from the combat, I think the world looks incredible. I mean, they show different characters. They show you like traversing the world and all of these really fantastic biomes. I mean, this is like, it's just something from, lifted straight out of high fantasy, sci-fi. They show at one point you get like a thing that you can ride or fly in.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. So I love the weirdness of this game. I love the fantasy element. There's a part in this trailer where it looks like the main character gets impaled by like all of these roots that something shoots out. And then it's weird because it's like, he's got to be dead, but does this mean these people are like resurrecting, or are there multiple copies? And we've seen little snippets of the story in some of these trailers. And so I am very intrigued by this game. So way up there on my hype meter. And the best part, Ryan, is this game comes out April 24th, dude. Like, we're almost in February. So we do not have that long to wait.
Jeez, yeah, that's close.
I can't wait for this, dude.
That's,
I mean, 3 months is going to fly by. We've got plenty of games to carry us until then. So I love this, like, this game release schedule.
Yeah.
It's March. Like, we had this little break.
March and April are going to be pretty wild.
Yeah. Oh man, we had this break over like December, early January, and now it's coming, man. It's like 2025 games are here.
I know we're gonna go to like log in and play any of these games, Avowed or any of this, and we're gonna automatically click on Rivals, and we're like, oh wait, no,
yeah,
just muscle memory of the last 2 months.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for this one.
Sure.
All right, listen, we've got some more games to talk about, but we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Girl, you have got to try this Laneige lip mask. Trust me, my lips needed that love. Love these vanilla vibes from Kayali. That top note is just so smooth.
Smooth and stunning. That's what you get with this K18 hair mask.
Those brands everybody's talking about, they're at Sephora. Discover the hype with the hottest names in beauty, including Laneige, Kayali, K18, and Rare Beauty. Only at Sephora.
Sergeant and Mr. Smith, you're gonna love this house.
Bunk beds in a closet?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
All right, Ryan, we're back. You know, when I was a kid, the one thing I wanted to be more than anything, Ryan, was a ninja.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to be a ninja, dude?
Dude, it's like the number one kid thing. Like every little kid running around.
Dude, I can't tell you, man. I was so into like karate and martial arts. I ordered like throwing stars. Any chance I got, I pulled my shirt collar up over my face to like hide my. Yeah. I was like, I'm a ninja, dude. I never grew up. I still want to be a ninja. You know
exactly.
And guess what? We get to be a ninja because Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out.
Yes,
man.
Finally.
Oh my goodness, dude. I had no idea that this game was coming. We got this announcement. We got a fairly extensive gameplay footage of this game. And dude, I remember the old Ninja Gaiden games. These games were not easy. Like they were hard. Like you felt like a ninja though at the same time. I'm kind of shocked by this announcement and then this gameplay on this one, to be honest. Like I've watched this trailer actually more than the other two because it's like there's so much going on and the combat is over the top. I mean, they really showcased a lot of stuff. Traversal, double jumps, wall running, you know, tons and tons of like over the top combat, multiple enemies, a kind of, you know, zoomed out third person view on this one a little bit, which I think serves this game very, very well. And I'll be honest, in all honesty, I've been out of the Ninja Gaiden kind of like mindset for a while. Yep. I can't remember the last one I played. And I know that they have had versions of this, but like none of them have caught my eye or gotten a lot of hype from people for me to kind of like pay attention. But boy, am I paying attention now, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is it? You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. You know, it's that is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Man. It's big. I think the last one I played, which I was an immense fan of, was I think 2 back on the 360. I don't know how many, because you know sometimes they don't go in order.
These were the side scroller ones, right? Was this the side? The last one I played was a side scroller.
Oh, you know, and this was
I
like
don't know if that was back to like Nintendo or what. But that's the one I remember.
That's way back. That's way back. The one I played, I think I played like the first and the second. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. I think it was 2, but this was still like a 3D world. At least the one I played was like a 3D open world that you ran around in it. I mean, it's funny because remembering back 15 years ago, I feel like it looks like Gaiden 4 is going to look like now. You know, you remember the graphics so vividly back then and think they were beautiful. But dude, it was such a good game, and having that over the top, fantastical like attacks and movements and worlds where you feel like, okay, not only am I a ninja, but I am a bad ninja. Like I am kicking some butt. I can do these crazy flips and dives and slash these guys in two and do all this crazy stuff, all my little abilities, and it's everything you imagine a ninja to be when you're a kid. You know, like they're a superhero.
It really is.
It's like a superhero, you know? So I got so hyped. This is the one I'm most excited for sure.
Yeah, I mean, everything I saw in this just made me go like, whoa. Again, traversal elements. Like I thought this was really neat. At one point, he kind of like grapple hooks to like, and then like wall runs off of a wall and then double jumps over to another wall. And I'm like, I love that kind of almost platformer timing element to it.
Yep.
Over the top combat. I mean, fighting a whole bunch of dudes, super showy, just, moves and spinning around and leaping and stuff like that. They showed a big boss fight. He does some huge overhead smash where it looks like his sword is all charged up and like long. And I don't know if you get different weapons in this game or what, but I was very impressed with this trailer. And like I said, I've always known that Ninja Gaiden is a good franchise, but again, I've been out of it for a long time, and Ninja Gaiden 4 is absolutely getting me back into this franchise. And I can't help but think, like, if you're Xbox, that's what you want to hear.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, we're back, baby.
Yeah, they need it bad too.
This is not for like niche gamers anymore. This is mainstream, like Ninja Gaiden. We're bringing it to the world, and we've got the world's attention now. The only downside to this one is it is coming out in fall of 2025. So this one is a little bit later this year. They didn't give us an exact month or date or anything like that.
See you in 2026.
Yeah, dude, I'm the same way, man. Anytime I hear late 2025, I just go, so you mean delayed to 2026, right?
We're not jaded or anything, we swear.
Oh, man. So, all right, well, yeah, so if you haven't seen any of these trailers, look them up because, man, these games look really, really good. And then we get to South of Midnight. And that was a weird transition because I'm actually cautiously excited for this game, but I will be honest, like this is the game where I look at it and I go, from an artistic standpoint and a music standpoint, because they've really focused on that, I think this game is absolutely a work of art. Yeah. We said that from the very first time we got a glimpse of this game. I am from the Deep South. I lived in Louisiana for 10 years. So when they talk about all this Deep South lore and stuff, I'm like, I know that lore. Like, like this is real, man. So it does hit home a little bit for me. Like even the Cajun accents, they get right in this game. So, cool. And I'm like, oh man, this is like taking me back. But here's the thing with South of Midnight. I am cautiously optimistic because I think from an art standpoint and a storytelling standpoint, this game looks incredible. This trailer and this kind of extended gameplay view that we got of this, it was another one with like developer commentary, and they kind of showed the studio and some of the development process and some of their thinking and stuff like that. They really tried to hype up like the combat in this game. But the combat in this game just doesn't look that good to me.
Yeah.
And when you have a developer that's saying our combat is real and dynamic and you can do this and you can do that, but I'm watching the gameplay and I'm like, dude, this looks like there's 2 buttons involved and that's it. Like,
hit block.
I don't want to sound jaded because, again, I think this game looks really interesting. But I am cautious on this one because I do worry about the actual gameplay elements. They showed some platforming. They did try to showcase the gameplay a lot more in this.
Yeah.
I just don't know that it helped their case with me in particular on this one. So what about you? Like, did you have any did it get you hyped for this? Did it like almost put you off? Like what did this extended look do for you?
Well, first, I am jealous that you actually have like, Cajun lore, down south lore. Arizona, I'm born and raised native. We just have like, our claim to fame is bad drivers and then just old people from Canada. That's pretty much all we got here. But in the winter that come here. But I think you kind of described it like, the art style and the music, and it all looked so good, and it kind of looked like that weird good where you're like, oh, that was kind of, man, this is kind of crazy, but also I'm interested. I want to see more. I want to see where this goes. I want to see what it is and the depth of this game. But like you said, the combat looks a little off to me, and I think that we've been doing this long enough to where we usually can tell what we're gonna like and what we're not, or what's gonna kind of typically land. I mean, it may be a smashing success and it may be hit, or maybe there's more that we need to see that may change our minds. We're always open to that kind of stuff. But yeah, this one definitely just looked a little off, but I am interested, and I did find it almost kind of uniquely endearing that that they really leaned into that kind of South mentality, like where you really felt like, dang, I'm down south, man. I'm in the swamps, and let's see all this craziness, So we'll see.
And just to kind of clarify, because I'm sure there's some people that are going, this game's not about the combat. Can't you guys tell? Like, this game's a story-based, character-driven, beautifully artistic game. And I get it. Like, we are not saying that, this game is Ninja Gaiden 4. It needs to be. The only issue, or I should say concern, is that if you are going for character and story and artistic impact, then you don't necessarily even need combat in your game. Like Disco Elysium, that doesn't have a lick of combat in it, and it's one of the best games I think I've ever played.
I wish there was. Freaking Cujo.
Yeah, but like that just goes to show you that if you have a compelling story and you have compelling characters, combat doesn't even need to be a thing. But if you put combat and platforming and traversal in your game, and you say, hey, this is a major gameplay element, like, it needs to be good.
Yeah.
It needs to be serviceable at least. And if it is serviceable at least, then your story and all the other aspects better be top notch. Because what happens is you get this fantastic art style, this incredible music, this incredible voice acting, and then you get very lackluster gameplay that pulls everything else down at that point. And that's my concern, is like, give me this masterpiece of art and storytelling, and then don't worry about having combat. You can go a different route, but if you put it in your game, guess what? People are going to judge it.
Yeah,
at that point.
I mean, it's part of the game. It's what you paid for, and you're there to play it, and that's part of every interaction where you have combat. You could sit down at this fancy restaurant, you have this beautiful steak, amazing looking potatoes, and you got, some beautiful broccoli, and then the water looks like it was, pulled out of the sewer, and it tastes just as bad. Like, that's going to ruin the experience,
It's part of the meal.
It's part of the meal, so you might as well not have that included. So if you're going to do it, do it right. That's the way I always look at everything in life. So hopefully it is. I mean, we may just, be a little bit off based on how it's going to perform. So. And I hope so too. I never wish a game to fail or anything like that. But man, I'm optimistic.
I am too. I just, like I said, I think my only concern, in all honesty, is to say, hey, this combat better be what you guys are trying. I felt like they were trying to convince me that the combat was good.
Yeah.
And what I was seeing on screen was not as convincing. And I think that was where I kind of had a little bit of the disconnect there. So, all right, Ryan. So that covers the Xbox Developer Direct. We do have time to talk about one more game, and I am hyped for this game too. Ever since we got the release announced, or the like kind of reveal trailer on this,
yes,
I went, oh, and then we just got another glimpse of this, and now I'm like, oh man. And that is a game called Split Fiction, which is the kind of spiritual successor to It Takes Two. It's by the same developer, the same guy, Joseph Fares, who has made a lot of games that are very unique, very interesting takes on games. A Way Out was one of them that we covered on this show long ago. Split Fiction, we took a tiny bit of flack for, Ryan, because none of us drafted that game in our Game of the Year draft that we did. And we got a lot of people that said, dude, what about Split Fiction?
What about this game? Yeah. Every time that happens, and I know, I mean, rightfully so after looking at this. I mean, this looks awesome, but there's always so many games, dude. It's hard to draft. We could only have, 5 or whatever?
8. Or 8? It was 8 games,
so,
yeah.
I mean, there's only so many we can take, but dude, this looks sweet.
It looks really sweet, dude. Yeah. I'm actually really excited. I mean, who does not love an amazing co-op game? And the thing with this developer, I can't remember the name of the studio. Joseph Fares is the guy that kind of runs it all. Something Light Studio. But his big thing is, I want people to play these games together on the couch. Like, we make couch co-op games. We make games that you can play with your friends. Usually with their games, one person buys the game and then the other person gets to play for free. That person just can't launch the game and play with other people. So it's like, this guy has the right attitude, in my opinion, on how he approaches things. The other thing I like is, I am the kind of guy where I love variety. Let me go to a restaurant and order like 2 bites of everything that's on the menu, and I will be super happy. Like, I don't, you know, sometimes I don't want to just commit to the one entree, and I really wish I could sample things. And so with Split Fiction, this is 100% what they're doing is they're saying we love variety of gameplay. And anybody that has played It Takes Two understands this because they did that exactly with that game as well. I will say Split Fiction to me looks way better than It Takes Two. Like, I thought It Takes Two looked fun, and it was fun. It was not Game of the Year material, in my opinion. But I had a great time playing that game.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun. It was simple. It was enjoyable. And that's all it needed to be. It had crazy elephant murder scene, you know, which is, you know, people still talk about. But Split Fiction to me looks like the evolution of what they were going for.
Go. Yep.
And I am by nature a huge fan of fantasy and sci-fi. You know, some people would call that a nerd, so call me a nerd if you want, but I love fantasy and sci-fi, and that's the focus of this game. Like, you have these two characters, one lives in a fantasy world or loves fantasy, the other one loves sci-fi, and this game mixes those two things. At one point, you're in a futuristic Tron world riding some crazy motorcycle and trying to, like, race your way through some floating obstacle course. And then in the other game, you're like riding dragons, or, you know, in the other world, you're riding dragons, and then it's like a shooter almost, like a shoot 'em up type game with the old spaceships where you just, you know, there's bullets everywhere and stuff like that. And that just tickles something inside me, man. And it's just like, I get really excited when I see that. I think this game looks fantastic, dude.
Oh, dude, I'm right there with you. And I mean, kind of the theme of the day is talking about movement. Like, this thing, like everything I looked at, you're just flipping and jumping and speaking of wall runs, and then you're, like you said, you're flying through space. And this one, I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, look, a dragon, and I'm like, oh, look, a spaceship. You know, like, that's how my brain is. Just, I love both things, and putting them together is that beautiful meld of just fun. And I think the gameplay that's what it's going to be. It's just going to be fun. I'm so stoked to, I don't play a lot of games with my daughter. She's very finicky on what she likes to play. I really think I'll be able to get her to play this one, especially since it's a female, you know, character, and she'll resonate with it and have a blast. I think it's going to be fantastic. I also very much love, I know we've talked before about side quests and going off and not missing like parts of levels and things like that. This puts a freaking portal there so you know where it is, and they do that intentionally so you don't miss it. Like, hey, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but this is going to a whole nother world, and you're going to have a wild time. And it's like, count me in, say less, homie. And I'm diving through that portal immediately, and I'll be in space, or I'll be underground in a cave, or who knows where. And I love that idea. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole trailer is being able to see the extra stuff throughout the game and it being that substantially different to the world you're already in. Like, that's so neat.
Yeah, I am very excited for this. I think they took everything that they learned from It Takes Two, and I think they're amping it up. And I like that really does get me excited because I think that they're going to take that concept to the next level. And that concept was already a ton of fun. Like, is this a Game of the Year contender? I don't know. Is this one of those games where people are like, dude, this was the most fun I've had playing with a buddy in a long time? I absolutely think it will be that. Like, this game, you can't play it solo. You have to play it with a friend.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect, man. You know, and listen, if you think this game looks good and you don't have a friend to play with, come to our Discord server. I guarantee you we will find somebody to play this game with you. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, no, this is something that like we are so passionate about, and you're going to be hearing this a lot more, but I'm going to kind of tease it right now, is that we are really, really going to start focusing on No Gamer Left Behind.
Yeah.
Like, there should not be a gamer in the world that sees Split Fiction and goes, dude, that looks amazing, but I don't have anybody to play it with.
Yeah.
We will absolutely fix that for you. I guarantee it. Come to our Discord server. It is the most incredible oasis of gamers that you have ever encountered on this planet. And I cannot stress that enough, man. So if you were the kind of person that wants to play a game and doesn't have people to play with, especially with as much as we're going to wind up hyping up Split Fiction, I guarantee you that you will find an awesome gamer to play with. Nobody there is toxic. Nobody there is mean to people. Like, nobody gets slandered for their opinions. Like, this is genuinely the best place for gaming on the planet. Come see. Don't take our word for it. Join the Discord server, lurk, find out for yourself. You are going to be amazed, but do not think that you can't play this game because you don't have somebody to play with.
We are here.
I don't know how much clearer we can make that. We will make sure that happens.
And we got basically Vader's our ambassador. He's just in voice chat 24/7. So, you know, he'll be your welcoming party. You just hop in with him.
I love it, man.
He's always there.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
We're even doing community nights, like, which has been one of the best. I haven't laughed that hard in so long. Like, we've been getting on Rivals. We're trying to do it like a lot of weekends. And we're just playing 6v6 custom matches, and we even had like a rolling kind of queue of people waiting to get in, and it's a good time with good people, and we're gonna keep hyping it up because it is genuinely like an oasis in gaming. It's so cool.
Yeah, I can't stress it enough. I know there's people that are thinking, oh, that sounds great, but I don't get to be a part of that. Yes, you do. You get to be. We're inviting you right now, and all you have to do is just click the Discord link. That's it.
And submit your credit card info. Just $99.95.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It's totally free, I swear.
Oh man. All right, well, listen, that does it for this episode. Dude, I'm hyped.
I know.
5 games on my hype meter, man.
Just like that.
How much more fun does it get?
I love it.
You know? So thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode and you haven't done it already, please take a second to follow us in your podcast app. Click that plus button, that follow button. That way you get all our episodes the day that they release. And I mean, maybe there's going to be some extra episodes coming for people that they want to make sure they're aware of.
Keep your eyes out.
Maybe.
Yep, maybe.
So you want to make sure that you know when those episodes might be releasing.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow us. If you want to support the podcast, just like Patrick O'Brien did, and get a shout out on the show and help this podcast, just be broadcast to the world, you can do that over at multiplayersquad.com. And if you haven't done it yet, leave us a review. Give us a 5-star rating. It helps other gamers to find this podcast as well. So once again, thank you for joining us. We will be back with another fantastic episode. We've got a pretty good idea of what we're going to do next, and I'm pretty excited about that one as well. So until next time, happy gaming.
See ya.